It's like a little squiggly, I don't know, looks like a little squiggly worm. Ew, this looks disgusting. Oh, look at that. My camera is so heavy and my arms are so weak. This is weird. I haven't had straight hair in ages. I don't really know if I like it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I know that I've been doing kind of, well, I don't even know what type of videos I've been doing recently, a bit of everything here and there, but I haven't done a foundation testing video in ages. And there is a new foundation that's coming out soon, which I thought some of you guys might be interested in because it's the new Urban Decay foundation. Their foundations tend to be pretty popular. I had a look on YouTube and there's not really many reviews on this yet at all. So I thought I would do a review myself because I put it on my Insta stories. You guys said you would like to see that. This video is not sponsored, all opinions are my own. I was very kindly gifted this foundation. But yeah, that doesn't change anything. So it's called the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. There's also the concealer as well, which I'm going to be testing. This isn't out yet, but I believe it's coming out very soon. I'm not entirely sure on the exact launch date, but I'm going to be wearing this today and seeing how it lasts. I have actually been testing this for the past couple of weeks because I was lucky enough to be invited to an event with Urban Decay a couple weeks back, and they gave us a little sample. We were all called into this room to get shade matched, and all of the bottles and everything were taped up. We weren't allowed to bring our phones in there. They were super top secret about it, but they basically just shade matched us and then gave us a tiny little pot of our shade so we could test it out. But I had no idea what the foundation was called. I didn't know any of the claims or anything. I literally just put this on my face not knowing really what it was supposed to do. Let's just dive into it and put it on my face. We'll talk as we go, you know? If you guys like these foundation wear test videos and you want me to do any more, give this a thumbs up. Let me know down below what other foundations you want me to test or just products in general. Let's get that hair behind my back. Okay, so I've already put on my SPF, which is the Kiehl's Ultra Light Daily UV Defense Aqua Gel SPF 50. That was a mouthful. And then I'm just priming my face with the Ofra Cool as a Cucumber primer, which I love. The rest of my makeup routine I'm going to kind of keep as normal because I don't want to change any new primers or powders or anything because then it might interfere. So what's really interesting about this is obviously when I've been testing it, I didn't know what any of the claims were. I would have said that it was like a medium coverage foundation, not matte but not dewy, kind of like somewhere in between, more of like a satin, I guess. I find that it kind of really smooths my pores and stuff like that, and it feels very lightweight. And then when I got this in the post the other day in the PR package, it says on the box, weightless liquid foundation, which I would agree with, up to 24-hour wear, which is interesting. It says flexible, breathable, real skin matte finish, medium buildable coverage, does not transfer, minimizes the appearance of pores, stay true color, waterproof, vegan formula, does not contain animal derived ingredients or byproducts. There's 50 shades of this, which is amazing. I am the shade 30NN, which is light neutral neutral. They've got loads of different undertones and stuff. The packaging looks like this. It is plastic packaging. It kind of reminds me of the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation packaging, and that's not just me because loads of people commented that on my stories. It does have a pump, which I really like. I kind of like how it's plastic because then it's more lightweight to like take traveling around with you and stuff. And then the Stay Naked concealer also says it's up to 24-hour wear. This says it's a buildable, full coverage, flexible, breathable, does not transfer, real skin matte finish, corrects the look of imperfections, waterproof, vegan formula, blah, blah, blah. Sounds pretty much the same as the foundation. In the UK, the foundation is going to be £29.50, I think, and the concealer is going to be £20, which is pretty expensive. I mean, but if you clicked on this video knowing it was Urban Decay, their prices aren't cheap. They're not the most expensive, but it is a more like higher end brand. And the concealer comes in 25 shades, which is pretty decent. And to just point out the obvious, I'm using a darker foundation on my face because there's a bit of a face body difference here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the one pump or pump and a half. Let's do pump and a half. That wasn't really a pump and a half. Pump and a few drops. So as you can see, it is quite liquidy, but it feels really thin on your face, which I really like. I think it's gonna be a really nice summer foundation. Oh my gosh, somebody commented the other day, are you doing your makeup in a DS light? No, this is not a DS light, it's an Ofra palette. I swear a DS light doesn't even have a mirror, unless I'm being crazy. Oh, by the way, the time is 10 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 10:03. And I'm going to be wearing this for quite a few hours today just to like show you guys how it lasts and everything. And if you are new to my channel, just in case, you know, I'm going to say this once, my skin type is oily. Just throwing it out there. If you're a long-time subscriber, you will know that for sure. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good colour match for me when I do have tan on. This is how the foundation looks on my skin. As you can see, it's not matte, but it's not dewy either. I would say it's kind of like in between. You can see a little bit of glow there. And yeah, as you can probably tell from how that applied and everything, I would say that it's got a good medium coverage. You can still see a little bit of kind of redness poking through in some of my under eye bags, so it's not full coverage, but it doesn't claim to be. But it just looks so fresh and nice on my skin. I just love the finish of it, and it feels really lightweight as well. I don't really know how well you can see, but it still kind of looks like skin in my opinion. It doesn't look cakey at all. It just looks very kind of fresh. Okay, so moving on to the concealer. I do have 3 different shades, but I think I'm going to stick with 30NN because in my opinion this is a tiny bit lighter than the foundation. But I've also got the shades 20NN and 20WY, which is fair, warm yellow. I think the mixture of undertones is really good because it can be quite tricky to find a foundation that actually matches your skin tone and your undertone. So I put up a little Insta story asking you guys whether you wanted to see me test these, and Urban Decay actually replied to me saying, "So happy you're already loving the foundation. The Stay Naked concealers have a similar feeling to our Naked Skin concealer but with 25% more pigment." So that's pretty interesting. If you like the Naked Skin concealer but you want more coverage, maybe this is a good option. Okay, so I'm going in with the shade 30NN. The brush is really interesting, or the wand, sorry. It's like a little squiggly, I don't know, looks like a little squiggly worm. But it does actually feel pretty nice on my skin, I have to say. The concealer is definitely a thicker consistency than the foundation. I'm just putting some under my eyes. I'm going to put a bit down my nose on any blemishes. And as you can see, this shade is a bit lighter than the foundation. I'm not sure if it kind of oxidizes because I have actually only tested the concealer once, but the foundation I've tested quite a few times. It actually has a really nice coverage. But as you can see there, it is definitely lighter than the foundation. So if you are looking for your corresponding shade and you want it to be a bit more brightening, then I think if you just get, you know, the same number as the foundation and the concealer, you should be fine. Okay, as you can see there, I don't know how well you can see that, the concealer does dry quite quickly. It does almost feel like it sets into place, but then I always set my concealer and foundation anyway, so I'm going to do that with, where's it gone? My Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 10. Okay, so the concealer did have really nice coverage. I wouldn't say it's the most full coverage concealer that I've ever tried, but it actually feels really nice on my skin. Like, it doesn't feel too heavy. So I'm using the Milani Baked Bronzer in 09. For blush, I'm using the CYO blush in Tell It Straight. I do not know why I just said it like that. I think this is only like £2 or £3. Apologies if you're in America because I don't think they have CYO. For highlight, I'm using this one by Kiko, which is from the Gold Waves collection, and it's in 01. They do have another one of these highlighters in their most recent summer collection, I think. Or the collection from a couple months back, I can't remember, but it's really nice. The Kiko face products are just on another level. But Kiko, please make them permanent. Stop bringing out all these limited edition collections with these amazing products because then we can't get them in a few months' time. It smells like chocolate as well. Eyebrows. Right, so next step before I move on to my eyes and do my mascara, I have been setting my face every single day for the past maybe like 2-3 months. Since it's been getting a bit hotter in the UK, yes, we've actually been having summer weather, which has been amazing. I have literally just kind of worked this into my everyday routine, and now when I don't use it, I feel like something is missing from my face and my makeup doesn't stay on as long. So I am going to be using the All Nighter setting spray, but just for reference compared to this foundation, the foundation that I wear on pretty much a daily basis, ew, this looks disgusting. Oh, look at that. This is the Revlon Colour Stay Foundation, and I wear this pretty much every single day, and I use the All Nighter setting spray, and I don't really need to touch up or powder throughout the day. It will last me a good like 8 to 12 hours without me touching it. Yes, I will be looking more oily towards the end of the day, but I don't really mind that so much because it doesn't get to the point where it's like, whoa, you need to powder. And I do that before my mascara, otherwise it makes my mascara run. I'm using the Rimmel Wonder Luxe Volume Mascara. Every time. I wonder if I will ever go a day without getting mascara on my nose. I'll get that off in a minute. I'm going to put on my Makeup Revolution lipstick in Cake. Let me just go get this off and I'll be right back. So this is what the foundation is looking like with the rest of my makeup done. If you guys want to see how this is going to last throughout the day, I'm going to check back in every few hours to show you guys what it looks like. Just a little close-up of everything now that I've powdered and finished the rest of my makeup. Sorry if the camera's shaky, but just for reference, this is what it looks like in natural lighting. This is me in my bathroom. My camera is so heavy and my arms are so weak. This is literally just the outside lighting coming in through the window. Today is going so quickly because somehow it has already been 4 hours. The time is, hello, 2:04 in the afternoon. And so far, to be honest, there's not too much change. My forehead is still looking very smooth. My skin is still looking very smooth. I'm starting to get a tiny bit oily on my nose. You can probably see that there. But the rest of my face is pretty much looking how it was 4 hours ago. So you can probably see there that my nose is starting to get a little bit shiny. I know that I did highlight my nose, but you can see just like the extra areas of oiliness. There is a tiny, tiny little bit of oil coming through on my forehead a little bit, but at the moment it's really nothing big at all. Nothing much has changed at the moment. Maybe give me another couple of hours and then we'll see if the oil starts to come through, just to get a real nice shot up there of my nose. I definitely think this foundation does a good job at kind of smoothing over my pores and not making them look overly big. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go have some halloumi cheese because I'm hungry. I don't want to touch my hair because I've just repainted my nails and I don't want to mess them up. So today has actually flown by. The time is now, hopefully you can see that, 5:14 in the evening. And wait, what does that mean? That means that this has been on for 7 hours because I put it on at 10 AM. The last check-in I did was 2 o'clock, so it's been another 3 hours since then. And as you can probably see, I am looking a bit more oily than I was earlier. It's mostly just kind of my nose, which is odd. Normally the first places that I get oily are, well, yeah, my nose, the area around my nose, just around here. My forehead does tend to get a little bit oily and sometimes my chin. All of those areas are starting to look a little bit oily, but again, 7.5 hours in, or 7.25 hours in, it's really not looking too bad. Everything still looks very smooth, which is nice. Sometimes with foundations I find that when they get oily they just look really gross and they start to separate around my nose and really like sink into my pores, emphasize my pores. But this doesn't seem to do that. It's just, the oil is just kind of sitting on top rather than messing things up. I don't know how to explain it. Let me just give you a close-up. So yeah, you can probably see there that my nose is starting to get oily and a little bit on my forehead and the areas around my nose, but again, my skin still looks really smooth. Maybe this is a little bit too close up, but can you kind of see what I mean? How the area around my nose is starting to look a little bit oily, but it's not to the point where it started to separate or emphasize my pores. It still kind of just skims over my pores, which is what I really like about it. A little bit of oil on my forehead. A couple of the blemishes on my chin are starting to poke forward a little bit, but I do kind of rest my hand on my chin as I'm editing. I would not look at my face and be like, whoa, you look oily as hell. Like, it's just, it's oily, but not in a gross way. Not that having oily skin is gross, but you know what I mean. I'm probably gonna do one more check-in, maybe when it gets to about 8 hours. I've just realized that because it is only 5:30 in the UK, why every time I hold it up to the camera it disappears? Because it's only 5:30, we still have natural light, because we have natural light till about like 8, half 8. So the time is 5:34 in the evening. The foundation has been on for 7.5 hours, and this is what it looks like. I think it just looks so smooth. Like, my skin just looks so nice. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, now that I've turned down the brightness, you can kind of see like really true to life what it looks like on my skin. In terms of sinking into my smile lines, it's really not too bad. I do get that with every foundation if you're new here, but yeah, this one's really not too bad at all. I think because it's quite a thin formula. Nice close up there of my nose. Right, so the final check-in of the day. The time is 5:52 in the evening. So it has almost, okay, we're maybe like 10 minutes behind, but I'm really hungry and I want to go get some food and I want to upload this video tonight. It's pretty much been 8 hours since I have applied this foundation. To be honest, in the last kind of half an hour since I just showed you guys, nothing much else has really changed. So let's talk the pros and cons. The pros of this foundation are it feels very lightweight. It looks very kind of skin-like in my opinion. It's got a nice medium coverage. The cons of this foundation foundation are, it's not the most long lasting and kind of like cement like for oily skin. As you can see, like I have still got oily in areas. However, when it does get oily, it doesn't kind of separate and go gross and emphasize your pores. It goes oily in like a nice way, if that's possible. For that reason, I think it would be good for a lot of skin types, but I guess like a con for me is it's not gonna last me 24 hours. Another con is it's £29.50, but then it is Decay, so you can kind of expect that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really like it as a foundation. I think it's a really nice summer foundation because it just looks and feels nice on your skin. It's not too heavy, and I'm kind of, I don't know, more recently I have been kind of moving away from the more like full coverage. I've been using a more like medium coverage foundation and then concealing the areas that I really need coverage. So yeah, let's do a little cheeky question of the day. Question of the day comes from Alice Heritage, and she said, what coping mechanisms did you find useful for your anxiety? Love you, Soph. And it's got 286 thumbs up, so I'm guessing that out of all of the questions, that's the one that a lot of people wanted to know. I have actually mentioned this in quite a lot of videos, and I did do a podcast with Imagination, where we spoke about anxiety, and I think I specifically spoke about coping mechanisms. I've also touched on it on my vlog channel. I think if you type in Soph Does Nails anxiety on YouTube, it will probably come up with a few of my Q&As where I've spoken about it. But yeah, I think Imogen's podcast has probably got the most information. But for me personally, I did have CBT, which was a massive coping mechanism. For me, I like listening to music. I find that it really calms me down. If I get anxious at nighttime, I like listening to ASMR videos. I find them really relaxing. I just find that distraction works best for me. So if I am feeling anxious when I'm out and about in public, I try and listen to music and like really like listen to the lyrics and everything, or watch a video to really take my mind off it, like download something on Netflix onto my phone or something, and like use that as a distraction to take my mind away from the fact that I'm feeling anxious and focus on that and kind of pretend that I'm in like my home safe environment, if that makes any sort of sense. But yeah, I do have a lot that I've kind of like spoken about that in multiple different Q&As and on Imogen's podcast as well. So yeah, maybe go check those out, but I hope you're okay. Right, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go get some food again because I'm hungry. It's getting towards dinner time. I really want an orange ice lolly and want to sit in the garden. So I'm gonna go finish editing this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.